Okay, good morning to everyone. In the yesterday's class, we were discussing about the module 3. So, in that, the module 3 is completely related uh, to the heating and ventilation systems, where we are going to design the AC systems, as well as what we are talking about uh, the natural duct systems, and how exactly this can be implemented in the large scale buildings. Then, how exactly this AC, what we are talking about, um, that is always with respect to thermal comfort of the human beings. Sometimes what will happen is that you can take two examples: the one person, and the second person. Sometimes keep the AC at about 20 degrees centigrade. Sometimes this person may feel a little bit cold compared to this person, compared to this person. So ultimately, what we can conclude from this is that it again, whatever we are going to design, it depends on the thermal comfort. So always we have to consider the human factor also whenever you are designing any AC systems or the duct systems, so that it should not be too harmful for the human beings. So then second thing is that the climatological factors has to be discussed in this module. How exactly the external climatic conditions are going to affect when you are designing the natural air duct systems or the AC systems, and what kind of material specifications to be provided for interiors of your buildings to reduce the heat transmitting as well as coming uh, out as well as going out from the building. So then here the thermal performance evaluation has to be carried out for each of the systems, and whichever you are going to design, it has to be evaluated with a cost. Always whenever the thermal performance evaluation we are considering, always it has to be provided with the cost. Then how much heat loss is going to happen from the buildings, and how exactly it is happening from the buildings, how it can be protected in the buildings, that has to be discussed in this third module. Then design of artificial ventilation systems. We have to see how exactly these artificial ventilation systems are going to differ your the natural, whatever the wind based or natural duct systems. And if you want to maintain the fixed transmittivity uh, coefficient or a thermal coefficient, then how exactly it is related to the insulators. Whenever we are designing the insulators, um, should be very careful that always the thermal performance evaluation has to be carried out. These are all interlinked. That we'll discuss in detail how exactly it can be designed for our buildings. So this is related to the third module. In the fourth module, we are completely going to design the audit system. You can call it as the energy audit. You might be knowing that the water audit, financial audit, like that. Um, how exactly the energy audit can be carried out in a building, and this is also very important, because um, um, the energy audit peoples energy audit, peoples are very less, and the demand is more. You can call it as the demand is more. Therefore, how exactly the energy audit for each of the building material with respect to the source is very important. Building versus building materials versus the source. In the sense, for example, source means I already discussed in the first class that the sources of our whatever the power we are getting to our house is, I already said this is the coal based. Many are there, thermal is there, we have solar is there, but we are purely dependent on coal based. So then how exactly this energy audit can be done with respect to the coal based power consumption that has to be carried out. Then again, when we are considering the depends on the source, then always you have to target the cost as well as the benefit of the energy conservation. Then next come to the carbon footprint. So whenever you are talking about coal, so always we have to target the carbon footprint. Always you have to target the carbon footprint, because all things has to be balanced, all three. This is the first one, second one, and this third one, and it is completely related to your what we are talking about these days, that is global warming. So whenever you are selecting any building materials, be careful, it should satisfy the source, and you have to see that how much carbon footprint it is living when you are using to your houses. Then how exactly how much it is going to affect to our environmental system, that has to be ultimately, the thing is that human comfort comfort versus the global warming, again these two has to be linked now. Why? Because nowadays many discussions are happening around the world that if more human comfort, they are directly correlating with the global warming. Means if you are going more comfort life, how exactly it can be correlated with the global warming? Maybe I'll send you some of the good articles that are published in uh, very good journals in your Science Direct, as well as some of the research based publications. If you read that papers, you will come to know that how this human comfort is going to affect the global warming. So then, when you are talking about the human comfort, then see that how exactly it is going to affect the design, and how exactly the design can be modified so that these two things has to be balanced. You have to balance the human comfort as well as you have to see that the global warming should not be raised. In that way, you have to design the building. design the building. So then some of the basic terminologies and the standards also we have to discuss. Then how it can be considered with the buildings can be discussed. Then in the module 5, we are going to discuss some of the computer based energy simulation programs, or you can call it as softwares. Then which are the softwares are available? For example, in the previous module we discussed the energy audit. We discussed the energy audit. So then for energy audit, which softwares are available? Which softwares are available? That we are going to study in this complete 5th module. Then what is the working principle of those all softwares? Then in that, some of the tools we can call this, it is in the software you have many tools will be there. How that tools can be utilized in that softwares, that we are going to discuss. So maybe I'll give you one or two software demos. There how this energy in the buildings can be simulated, how exactly it can be targeted, and how much carbon dioxide we are emitting from each of our buildings, that can be calculated. For example, if you are using one fan, so then how much it is consuming the power, and how much it is leaving the carbon footprint in the building. That kind of systems we are going to design in this module 5. So it is completely related to the software simulation softwares. Maybe in this module they may ask in the examination, they may ask one or two softwares and their working principle, how exactly it can be implemented in the field. Then finally, what are the outcomes you are going to get in this module? That is, to understand the importance of energy, you are going to understand the importance of energy resources. That is the first one. And after this, you should be able to design the energy efficient buildings. That's the two outcomes you will get it after learning this course. So then we have some reference books. Normally we'll follow one or two soft copy I have that I'll send to you. First one is Mojumdar. This is the author from the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. Then Jay Maha. So you can use this for this very good book for to design the energy efficiency buildings. Then Duffy and Beckman. This is completely related to the solar energy. You can use this for the third module. You can use these two books for all 5 chapters. But you can restrict this third book for only the third module, for the second module. The fourth, you can use the building code. Normally we'll follow energy conservation building code. Now it is revised actually. You can SP, it is SP41. Now it is revised. Maybe you'll get 2015 edition of this book. It is completely related to only energy saving techniques, how exactly the energy components can be taken inside the building. Okay, then we'll move on to the energy. So uh, energy can be energy can be neither created nor be destroyed, but only it can be um, converted from one form to other form. This is very important. So always, whatever we are discussing in further classes, always you have to keep it in mind. This law. So means total overall energy, embodied energy in the buildings, it will be a constant. Maybe it will be transported from one place to, means one form to other form. Like um, here sunlight is there. Assuming that you have around 1,000 megawatts of power, it is generating from the solar energy. Then it is utilized. For example, 1,000 units of power is utilized for tube lights, fan. Okay, you have utilized it, but what is happening is that it is transported to either to in the form, whatever the fan there, whatever the mechanical energy is, whatever the power or the light energy is converting into mechanical energy, then it will start rotating. Once it will start rotating, you will feel comfort. Then again, whatever the energy is transferred to the human beings. Like that, overall, if we calculate it, we can say it will be the constant only. Means it will change from one form to other form. Means the only thing that neither be created nor be destroyed. Means overall it has to be become constant. Maybe we'll discuss in further by taking one or two examples how exactly this can be done. For example, in a room heater, the electrical energy is converted into thermal energy. So turbine converts the mechanical energy stored in a steam to electrical energy. So this is one best example how exactly the energy can be conserved. Okay, the types of energy we'll discuss in the next class.